To anyone who's been watching the news lately, they've noticed that Israel and Palestine have begun attacking each other once again. The latest upsurge of violence comes as the long-running conflict between the two semi-states occurred on Wednesday when Israel attacked a Hamas military leader, Ahmed Al-Jaabari, with a precision airstrike on his car. Now, in addition to that, Israel also began shelling the coastal enclave from the land, air, and the sea. Now, Hamas says that it has declared an open state of war with Israel. No pretext, no exceptions, all-out full war, and have claimed that the gates of hell are on their way. It's an exact translation, but it's pretty much the same thing. Thus far, an Israeli airstrike has killed 19 Palestinians, including 7 militants, 12 civilians, among them 6 children and a pregnant woman. Once again, showing exactly what it is that they're about and who their true enemy actually is. Now, Hamas rockets have also been fired into Israel, into 3 Israeli, the town of Kiryat Malachi, on Thursday morning. Israel, with this situation, at least 3 known Israelis have died at the time of this recording. Now, what's happened is now the Prime Minister of Egypt is going to be visiting the Palestinian territories. And now, as a result of this, the leader of Israel has said that he will cease military actions against Palestine until the guy has left. Netanyahu has agreed to a ceasefire until that meeting is over. And a lot of people suspect that this may be an attempt to broker a deal between the two sides, an attempt at peace or what have you. Now, that should be pretty typical. The Egyptian government has previously given its statement for Israel. I mean, that seems to be a thing that stays. The ouster of Hosni Mubarak, who's been very, very tolerant of Israel, his replacement with the new regime, seems to be continuing with that same policy in favor of U.S. and Israeli interests. So we should not be surprised that a ceasefire would be agreed to during the visit. Not to mention, it would also be a huge international incident if the Egyptian Prime Minister actually be killed while in there. But we do understand that the new regime in Egypt is also very sympathetic to Israel and is carrying out its interests along with the interests of the U.S. Now, Israeli warplanes have bombed targets around the Gaza city. And as per usual, massive amounts of damage to city infrastructure, strikes carried out on the civilian population. I mean, these were pretty much indiscriminate bombings, as they usually are done against the Palestinian population. Although, interestingly, there's not been a lot of statements coming out of the U.S. at this time. I suppose that the spin doctors of the Obama administration are currently looking for a way to spin this around and completely blame everything on the Palestinians, like they're the ones with the multi-billion-dollar war machine that's attacking another country. Now, the Israeli Defense Minister Ehud Barak has reportedly approved the summons of 30,000 Israeli Defense Force reserves, and telling them they could be called into action at any point. Now, this was spoken about, an IDF spokesman told Israel's Channel 2 TV, as quoted by the Associated Foreign Press. Now, I think this is a very important thing to keep in mind. I'm not sure as to the actual frequency of how many times they actually call up reservists and tell them to get ready to possibly partake in military actions, but this in itself should be a very telling sign that Israel is, in my opinion, given this as evidence, is seriously consider a full-blown military invasion of Palestine, just as they did with Operation Cast Lead, leading to possibly another 1,200 dead Palestinians. And another example of the one-sided conflict that is Israel and Palestine. Palestine has an extremely limited ability to strike back against what's happening to it, while Israel is a multi-billion-dollar professional war machine. I mean, this is brutally one-sided. Israel doesn't go to Palestine to get permission to build buildings. Palestine has to go to Israel to do that. Palestine doesn't control the checkpoints in its own country. Israel does. This is a brutally one-sided war, despite how anybody wants to present it. And in the last couple of days, I did receive a message from one Israeli, not the guy that a video reply was given to. This was another person who insisted that Israel was a good state based on the fact that he's personally not prejudiced towards people of different religions or races. This is their mentality. They believe that if they literally don't do, or if they personally aren't racist, therefore the Israeli government isn't doing racist things. The Israeli government is not carrying out genocide against the Palestinian people. This is the mentality of a lot of people in the country. I mean, this may even be some of the more liberal people who are doing this. But it's a completely incorrect view. It's a justification for the mass slaughter of Palestinians that's taking place. And this situation, like all the previous situations of violence between the two semi-states, is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. This is, again, another example of Israeli aggression on a country that has a right to exist. And I personally do recognize Palestine as a state. That's why I'm using the word country. All for the sake of backing up their claim on a land which they stole based on a book that's proven not to be true. All right, to each his own. I mean, everybody's got their subjective opinion on why they should do what it is that they're doing that's horribly immoral. But we should immediately keep in mind that this situation is going to get worse long before it's going to get any better.